steelhead spider. So it's kind of like the spider patterns for wet fly or for trout, but it's much bigger. And that's kind of out of focus, but there's a fair bit of flash. There we go, on the inside there, which you'll see once I start tying it. Hook is a mustad salmon, size 6. Nothing. Focus. There we go. And the thread started 8/0 black. And I will run it to about the point. Some small oval silver tinsel. And I've got the tag end just to the return eye. Return eye starts right there, so I'm not going to add any bulk to the top of the hook. Tie it all on this side, and it just fills in that step from the regular wire that is the return eye. So I'll do about 5 turns just to get a nice bit of flash at the end of the body. It's just, this one is ultra wire, brassy size ultra wire in black. The body I will start at the return eye once I've moved the thread up to the eye of the hook, because I'll do two layers, so it's keeps everything fairly smooth. Body is just some holographic blue tinsel. I actually don't have the spool here. I think it's use what you can find, any holographic mylar, or flat braid would probably work as well, but flat braid's going to be a little bit on the big side as far as like bulk. Tie that in. Tinsel can be a little bit on the tricky side. You can sort of, as you're wrapping it, overlap it on the previous turn, and then you can just sort of slide it back a bit, and you can actually feel the tinsel click in off the edge of the previous wrap.
Would it help if you glued it?
I mean, you can.
But it really doesn't help when you're applying it, does it?
No.
That would be a very unusual color for a Yorkshire spider.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure very, very sensible Yorkshire browns would be looking, what the heck is that? Why is that so blue? So trim off all the tag ends here. The wire, I'll just give it one turn at the back, just for a bit of division from the body. Nice even wraps up to the end here. And again, when I've tied it, I've sort of given it a bit of a 90-degree turn, or 90-degree bend, and tied it along the back side, the tying side of the hook here, just so it's all kept nice and flat and smooth. And then break the wire off. Don't trash your scissors on cutting your your wire, whether it's cutting it off of the spool or off of the fly as you're tying it. You just ruin more good pairs of scissors that way. It breaks, bend it back and forth 5 or 6 times, and it'll break on you. Okay, need a bit of a prop for the hackle just to help and keep it nice and flared out. It's not going to collapse on us. I'm going to use some UV black ice dub. I've picked black and blue because it tends to be a really popular color for steelhead here. All the guys tend to favor black and blue for all their larger steelhead patterns, especially for the spring. A lot of people seem to think that an all pink or an all chartreuse fly this time of year will show up in the muddiest of water, and they don't. They blend in, and you completely lose them in the muddy water. This time of year, you're looking for something with a fair bit of contrast. So, as far as more traditional patterns, green butt skunks have green, black, red, and white show up infinitely better than something that's fluorescent pink, fluorescent orange, chartreuse, all one color. It's kind of surprising to see. Too much dubbing. So I put this in a dubbing loop. Spread out a little bit. Don't need wax for this. It'll catch in well enough without. Pliers.
So you get much more of a bulk rather than using peacock fur.
Yeah, you do. And well, the thing is, I want the longer fibers of this to help hold the hackle up. You'll see once I get the hackle on, and peacock won't do that because it's just so flat once it's tied in. Just give this a little fold. Another tip, if you aren't aware or you're new to tying, whenever you go to tie something off, top of the hook. Don't try and tie it off and juggle your material that you're trimming off and your thread on the underside of the hook, because inevitably you'll end up cutting your tying thread, and you have to scramble trying to hang on to everything and keep it from rubbling on you. Hackle on this is a pheasant rump feather towards the back of the patch. You always get 2 types. You get these nice short, there we go, short iridescent feathers at the front. They're nice for shellbacks on crayfish. You use them for cheeks on some larger minnow patterns. So 1 feather. I know you don't have to, but I like to strip the fluff off of the quill. Some people prefer to keep the fluff on there to hang on to it, and I find it just gets on my nerves, so I get it away. Expose the tip of the quill. Tie it in. Now that I'll usually just, if it's not too thick, I'll usually just fold it back and leave it. I might trim it off. No, it'll blend in okay. So, convince our hackle to fold. Sometimes it's easier said than done. Give it 3 turns, might get a 4th. Half. There we go. That works. I'll try and keep what little fluff I have left on there out. Hold the quill up. couple of wraps of thread to tie it off. Yeah, it is stiffer. It's not quite as soft and limp as a hen hackle is. It does still, once you get it in the water, it does move a lot, but it tends to stand out a little bit more. No, I'm not going to do that. I was going to say I could try and be clever and break the quill off, but with my luck, it'll end up breaking underneath the thread and everything will unravel on me.
I've never had.
No, of course not. So, I'll get it nice and close. Just a bit of a head here.
So you fish this just like a wet? Just,
Yeah, just a cross and down swing. You could, if you're fishing a pond that doesn't have any flow, you could cast it and strip it. Or if you're drifting, you could fish it like some of the wet flies that they drift, multiple flies at a time. It's a bit big. I don't know if you'd want to do multiple flies of these at a time, but you know, get the one on there, it'd be fine. Whip finish. And before I close it, hit cement.